All right, so now let's go into letting go of those negative emotions. Bring up really any emotion that you have going on, your strongest emotion that you want to be letting go of today. That might be anger, it might be anger towards yourself, anger towards other people. There might be fear, shame, resentment, or even, like I said, any attachment or desire that you have going on. Focus on one at a time, but let's start with the biggest one that you have going on. So think about that emotion. Think of that situation that brings up that emotion, that triggers that emotion. So as you think about that emotion, I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and the questions are derived from the Sedona method, which is a great method to really let go of any emotions and any negative emotions that are just limiting you in your life. So think of the emotion, and I'm going to ask you a few questions. First question I'm going to be asking you is, can you welcome this emotion? And simply what that means is, can you let this emotion be? It doesn't mean that you're welcoming the situation or you're okay with the situation or with whatever it is. It just means that you're okay with feeling that emotion right now as best as you can. Now, the second question I'm going to ask you is, could you let go of this emotion? That question simply means, do you have the ability to let it go? And the third question I'm going to ask you is, would you let it go? And that simply means, would you be willing to let it go? And the fourth question I'm going to ask you is, when? Now, with the first question, you can answer yes or no. Second question, yes or no. Third question, yes or no. That's completely up to you. The releasing technique will work either way. So whether you're not ready to let it go right now, you can say no. Could you let it go? No. Would you let it go? No. It's totally okay, but we want to get you to a yes. When I ask you when, you will simply say right now, regardless of the other answers. So let's go through it. So think of that emotion that you want to let go of right now. Really go into the situation, feel it as best as you can. Just notice it. And notice where you feel it in your body. Now, could you welcome this emotion as best as you can? Just for right now. Could you just let it be here for right now? Again, whether the answer is yes or no, that's totally okay. Now, could you let it go as best as you can? Would you let it go? When? Now, as you're still feeling this emotion, could you welcome this feeling as best as you can? Just for right now. Could you let it go? Would you let it go? When? Now, if you're still feeling this emotion, we're going to go even deeper into this emotion. Could you welcome this feeling or emotion just for right now? Now, if you're still feeling it, could you go even deeper into this feeling? Is there more emotion deeper underneath? Could you go even deeper? Even deeper than that. You go even deeper into this emotion as best as you can. Now, if you're still feeling this emotion, could you go even deeper than that? Even deeper into this emotion. Could you go even deeper than that? Now, once you reach a point where you're no longer feeling it to that point, you can't go any deeper, that's okay. But could you go even deeper than that? Is there more emotion underneath that surface? All right, now could you let go of this emotion as best as you can? Could you let it go as best as you can? Now, would you let go of this emotion as best as you can? When? Now, if you still have that emotion going on, could you welcome this emotion as best as you can, just for right now? Could you let it go? Would you let it go? When? Now, if you still have this emotion and you're still feeling it, let's continue. Otherwise, see if there's another emotion that you want to deal with. Now, go even more into this emotion, into this situation, whether it's something that happened with a person or whatever you might be going through. Go into that emotion as fully as you can. Now, could you welcome this emotion as best as you can? Now, could you let it go? Would you let it go? When? Now, could you welcome this emotion as best as you can, just for this moment? Now, could you let it go as best as you can? Now, would you let it go as best as you can, just for right now? When? And if you're having any resistance with letting go of the emotion, feel that resistance. Now, could you welcome this feeling of resistance as best as you can, just for right now? Now, could you let go of wanting to let go of the emotion? That might be an emotion of hate, fear, desire, or any emotion that might be limiting you. Could you let go of wanting to let it go? Would you let go of wanting to let it go? When? Now, could you welcome this feeling as best as you can, whether it's a resistance or simply the emotion? Now, could you let go of wanting to let it go as best as you can? Yes. Again, yes or no is fine. Would you let it go? When? Now, keep going through that if you still have that emotion until you no longer feel it, and kind of let it go, release those emotions. Otherwise, at the end, I went through releasing the desire for wanting to letting go of an emotion. That's just as important as letting go of the emotion. So you definitely want to do that. Many times we don't let go of emotions because we are just feeling them with the desire to change them, the desire to control them and not have them. So many times our own desire to control our emotions is what keeps those emotions around. So yeah, do that. And that is how you cleanse your emotions on an everyday basis. So you want to spend 5 to 10 minutes every single day when you wake up, right after meditation, just releasing those emotions and starting not only with a clean slate of your mind, but also a clean slate of your emotions on a daily basis.